Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie. Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi. Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie. Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington. Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson. Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson. Christopher Conley as Norman Harrington.
Until a few moments ago, the Schuster house was the scene of a dinner party. But the festive mood has been abruptly shattered by the hand of tragedy. Betty Anderson has reason to be certain that, whatever the tragedy, Rodney Harrington is somehow connected with it.
Mrs. Chernak's son, Joe, is dead.
What happened, Mrs. Schuster?
Well, I don't know. They found him dead on the wharf. Will you excuse me?
Miss Chernak, if there's anything that I can do, anything at all, please let me know.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Oh, thank you.
Poor Mrs. Chernak.
It's a tragedy, but I hardly believe it. Of course, I've seen it. My sister's just
Stephen? Stephen, I'd like to go.
You better sit down for a minute.
No, I'm fine. I just want to go home.
Did you know the Chernak boys?
Not very well. It's just that
I understand.
I'll get my coat.
Did Dr. Rossi know anything about what happened?
Well, he didn't say so. I assume it was accidental.
Not the police investigating it?
I don't know. Excuse me, will you?
What is it?
I don't know. Maybe it was an accident.
Elliot.
Connie, it's a shocking thing, but let's face it, Joe Chernak was... Well, Joe's the kind of a boy that looked for trouble. You know that, so do I.
What's happened? Joe Chernak's been killed. It's terrible, isn't it? Mrs. Schuster, Kim is asleep now. I think she'll be all right. I'm sure. Allison, do you have any idea at all what could have upset her? No, I'm sorry.
Well, we're not blaming you, Allison.
No, of course not. It's been a dreadful night for everyone. Good night. Good night. Come along, Allison. You must be tired. Good night, darling. Good night. Good night.
Good luck with the newspaper.
All right, thank you.
Let's get together again soon.
I'd like that.
No matter which side of the editorial fence we're on.
Good night. Good night, Mrs. Schuster, and thank you.
Good night, Mr. Carson.
Oh, Honey, let that go. I'll help you with that in the morning.
Okay. Oh, our poor party. Poor Mrs. Chernak. Poor everybody. Did you, ever meet Joe?
No, Mrs. Chernak spoke to me about him once. She wanted me to get him a job. Did you ever meet him?
You know, it's so strange. Somebody works for you, and you never even think about them until something like this happens. I'm going to take Kim to Dr. Rossi in the morning. I'll just feel better if he looks her over.
Well, I'll take you.
Can you?
Well, it's a weekend, remember?
David. It's a dreadful thing to lose a child. So it's really dreadful.
I'll take the two of you home, and then I'm off to the paper.
Now, at this hour?
We may be getting out an extra edition.
How come?
Because Joe Chernak's death might not have been accidental. I'm going to have to go to the Chernaks, and I'm not looking forward to that. Asking questions and asking for pictures. If this were a big city, I'd have the blessing of anonymity. But in a small town where we all grow up together, all knowing one another, sometimes knowing too much about one another.
Can I go with you?
Oh, thank you, honey, but I think you better not.
I'd like to find out what happened.
Well, you can read about it in the morning in the paper. Besides, I'm going to have to try my wings solo.
Betty, I thought we could talk a little.
I'm all talked out, Stephen.
Not about the accident. It was terrible, but it's done, and we can't do anything about that. I'd like to talk about what was really troubling you tonight, long before you heard about Joe.
It's difficult for me to think now.
Please, I took a calculated risk bringing you to the party tonight.
How?
I knew it would be a strain on you, but I didn't think it would be enough to depress you for the entire evening. I was right, wasn't I?
It's late.
Betty, you've been through a great deal, but you're mature and intelligent, and you don't frighten easily. There were no ghosts in that house tonight.
How could you possibly tell how I felt?
There was something else. Something other than returning to the Harrington house.
A secret.
Maybe?
A deep, dark secret.
Yes. I thought you might like to talk it all out.
A big cry on your shoulder.
Something like that?
Good night, Stephen.
Betty, what are you doing home so early? How was the party?
It's okay.
How was your dress?
It's fine.
Stephen, did he stop politicking long enough to tell you how pretty you look?
I'm going to bed.
Hey there. Wait a minute now. What happened? Come on, what happened?
Joe Chernak's dead. They came to the Schusters to tell Mrs. Chernak.
Oh, how terrible. How did it happen?
I don't know. It was an accident on the wharf. Mother. Mother, where are the car keys?
They're in the car. Why? Betty, where are you going?
Mother.
I have to ask.
No, you don't. You have to trust me.
I've always trusted you.
Come in.
I've got to see Norman.
He's not here, Rita.
Well, I've got to find him.
He's not here.
Well, I've been looking everywhere for him. You probably heard the siren. He was down at the wharf. Still can't believe that it happened. The ambulance and the police. You know, at first I thought it was just a couple of dockhands who'd had a fight or something.
It's good to be home.
Norm, where have you been?
What?
Please, just come on, where have you been?
Well, staying away as of last night. I think that's what you wanted.
Well, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Why?
Just because I wanted to see you.
Well, you're seeing me. Here I am.
Norm, the police came in the bar. Yeah, it was horrible.
What was horrible? What are you talking about? Rod, what's she talking about?
Norm, are you putting on an act?
No! What's going on?
Joe Chernak's dead.
Dead?
Norman, the police are going to find out that you fought with him. You were with Joe tonight, weren't you?
No.
Please, Norman, you have to tell me the truth. Come on, you've got to.
I hated him. I really hated him. But I didn't kill him.
Norm.
I didn't kill him.
Norm. Well, they found him on the little boat rental pier. And his sister must have been in the bar. Yeah, we all must have been in the bar when it happened.
Rita, I didn't do it.
Well, the police are going to make you prove where you were.
Well, I can't. I was with Allison.
Where? Because really, they're going to make you prove it.
I can prove it. She'll prove it. We were in the library with Kim. Look, 1,000 people saw us there. Rod, I know what you're thinking. But I didn't have anything to do with it. You've got to believe me. I didn't go near Joe Chernak.
I believe you, Norm.
You've got to, Rod.
I believe you. Now take Rita home with you.